Hey guys, good afternoon, or sorry, good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 15th. It is 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick and then we'll get started shortly. Sorry for the late start again, guys. I was trading pre-market and I just lost track of time. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this up really quick and then we will get started very shortly. So looks good. Looks good. Looks like we are good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Looks good. All right, so as people join in, let's get a few moments for people to make their way into the room, and then we will get started with our analysis shortly. All right, guys, looks like people are still making their way in. All right, guys, so good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday, February 15th. It is 6:28 right now. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Van Hartwig. Morning, Kenny. Morning, Cern. Morning, Ruin. Morning, Sam. Morning, Karen. Morning, Martha. Morning, Shaka. Morning, Christian. Morning, everybody. So sorry for the late start, guys. I was taking some trades here pre-market and I just lost track of time and I just realized that it was 6:20 already. So we'll see where price ends up going. There's some volatility this morning due to the morning news. There was news over here at, let's see, there was news at 4 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock, there was the NBA 30-year mortgage, NBA mortgage applications, refinance, etc. All of the basically the mortgage stuff that came up at 4 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that up over here. Oops. So today, let me just maximize this chart because stuff's kind of relevant. So there was news at 4 o'clock a.m. today here in the US. It wasn't really high impact, but it's still news. So I'm going to go and mark it up. So news right there at 4 o'clock. And then we had news over here at 5:30, I believe, which is actually high impact. Yeah, retail sales, etc. New York Empire Manufacturing Index. So at 5:30, there was high impact news. And then there was news over here at 6:15, manufacturing news. So 5:30 over here. There's a lot of volatility because of the news. That's why I was taking trades pre-market. I typically don't trade pre-market, but the market was moving so smoothly where I was like, okay, I might as well take advantage of these moves here, right? So 5:30 over here, and then there was news over here at 6:15, and then there's more news coming up at 7. There's a lot of news today. So let me go ahead and mark up the news over here at 6:15 that just came up. Yeah, it like literally came up like right at the time of my entry. And the volatility just picked up from that point. All right, so market has opened right here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. News over there at 6:15 and then at 7 and 7:30. 7:30 and 8:30. Okay. News right here. 7, 7:30 and 8:30, which is not really relevant because we're not going to be trading, so I'm not going to mark that up. But yeah, we got a lot of news for today. All right, guys, so market is now open. Obviously, you can see price is bearish. Another reason why I took the sells earlier is because of Kip and Sisu. I saw them taking sells. So, I mean, I literally didn't even look at the chart. I woke up this morning, I saw Kip and Sisu's profits, and I saw their chart. I was like, okay, they're taking sells. I looked at the chart real quick, saw these momentum scalp entries, and I hopped in right away. There's another momentum scalp entry right here, or sorry, pivot scalp, because there's no momentum on the higher time frames. There's still a pending one here on the 10. So that's kind of what we're looking for here, guys. As you guys can see, we currently have a bearish bias across the board. Reason for that is because price is below the pivots, trend meters red, pivots are angling down across the 1 minute, 5 minute, and 10-minute time frame. So we're obviously looking for sells today here on the short term, looking on the high time frames as well. It's also bearish, as you guys can see here on the 30-minute, 1 hour, and 10-minute time frames. Price is bearish, it's below the pivots, trend meters red, and the pivots are angling down. So the overall bias for the trend today is obviously bearish. I mean, there's a breakout 2.0. I think that's currently running right now. I obviously don't take this trade, so I'll mark it up for you guys, but I'm not in this position here for the obvious reasons. You know, I don't want to be holding on to my margin in these bigger positions here for a breakout 2.0. So, and probably want to use 1,500 for this move. So I'll leave this marked up for you guys here. I'm not in this position. I just want to follow it and see where it goes, because obviously we have a sell bias for today, right? What might happen here is price may push up, may reject off the pivot, and then come right back down. That's possibly what will happen here. You know, the same pattern that we've been looking at pretty much every day this week is this right here. You know, price coming up, rejecting off the pivot, and then coming right back down. I don't see the rejection here on the 1 hour, so we don't have that setup today. Not really the same setup that we've been applying for the past couple of days. But, you know, if price pushes up, rejects off the pivot, then we might see it come back down. But at the moment right now, we don't have anything to look at. So back over here on the shorter time frames, let me go ahead and mark up opening price. Opening price is right here at, wrong candle, 630. Color that blue. We'll label it. There's not really much for us to do right here because it's right in between all of these, what we consider red flags, right? So I just want to show you guys over here. Everything here is obviously for a sell. So we're going to go ahead and maximize the 1 minute. We don't really need to look at that right now. What we do need to look for is a sell signal here on the 10. So once we get a sell signal here on the 10, we can confirm the direction of momentum, but we just don't have that yet, right? Another reason why I took these sells earlier, guys, was because we had the gold bar, right, for this one right here. So there was a pending sell on the 10, but it just never closed. And that's what I mean about these momentum signals here that are coming up gold. Sometimes they'll come up temporarily, but they haven't closed yet on the higher time frames. So this is not an area to trade in right here. This is what we consider a red flag. And I'll put the strategies up here that we're going to be following. I'll just leave them over here at 8 o'clock because that's typically our cutoff. Momentum scalp failure. Momentum scalp variation. And momentum scalp. So there are different entries that you guys can apply, guys. But, you know, for these live sessions, again, this is the main focus for basically this entire year. I'm going to be focusing on just these 3 strategies right here. Hey, Gary, how's it going? Morning. Morning, AR. Morning, Frederick. Frederick said CNBC has news about a crash. Let me go and pull that up real quick. Thanks, Frederick, for the heads up. All right, so looking over here. Let's go ahead and pull up the news for today. So it says Dow sheds more than 150 points as investors weigh retail sales, inflation data, and the live updates. So like, let me see if there's anything here. Stocks open lower after retail sales bet. Let's see if there's anything else here. Well, I mean, just looking over here at all the indices, everything is pretty much red right now. So it's going in the direction of our bias. We're looking for a sell here. And you look at everything across the board. We have the Dow currently down 165 points, S&P down 19 points, NASDAQ down 33 points, Russell 2K down 23 points, and the VIX down 1.5%. So everything's pretty much red right now. Frederick over here mentioned that CNBC reported about a crash happening. I don't think like a super heavy crash will happen, but obviously, we are going to this recession. So there's no surprise here, right? We went into this year knowing that price was not going to be good, and we thought price was going to be dropping for a bit. So yeah, not a huge surprise here, but we'll see how this ends up, obviously playing out for the day. Dejan said, when he said crash, I thought he meant one of those trains. Allison said, thanks again for the mentoring session last night. Yeah, no problem, Allison. So guys, if you guys didn't watch the mentoring session from yesterday, Allison asked some pretty good questions regarding, the strategies and a couple of little concepts that I use here regarding, these wick rejections. So if you guys want to watch that, just pull up our YouTube channel, go to the channel, youtube.com/KodiKaiTrades, and click on the, sorry, wrong button, this button right here. Go to the live tab right here and just go to the most recent mentoring session from yesterday. If you guys haven't been attending the mentoring sessions, I highly recommend it if you guys have questions, because a lot of the good questions are getting asked during these sessions, because we have a lot of our mentees that I'm mentoring right now. And, a lot of our normal members are part of that session as well. So we get a lot of questions from people who are brand new to trading, people who are experienced and need like a little more fine tuning. And a lot of your questions that you guys probably have that you don't even know about are probably being asked during those sessions. So no problem, Allison. Anyways, looking over here at the price, guys, there's nothing really going on right now. The 1 minute is still kind of pushing up right here, but there's not really much of a direction. So as price continues to push up right here, this may shift our bias. We currently still have a sell bias right now, but if this ends up pushing up higher and higher, then there might be a shift. We don't have a sell signal here on the 10 minute yet, so there's not really any confirmation that we're going to start looking for a trade that way. So again, right here, see how we have a wick rejection off the top part. We have a wick rejection off the 5, and we have a wick rejection off the 10. So this might be a hint that, price may be coming back down. There's no confirmation yet. Everything here is still looking like a sell. So until we have a confirmation of a swing or of a correction, then, I think price will still be coming down further. So there's no rejections here on the higher time frames. It's just on the lower time frames right now. That rejection did not close. So we'll see where this ends up going, but there's no direction here at all. So let me go here to the clean chart. I'm gonna keep one clean chart here, guys, so that you guys can kind of have an idea as to like where price is going. I used to do this a lot in the past, but I stopped doing it because so many charts open. But I think it's very useful that we have these
somebody's mic is on
clean charts just to show you guys, where things are going. So let me just turn on the high-low indicator right here as well, because it's very useful to have that lined up. But other than that, I'm just going to keep this open like this so that you guys can see where price moves from open until
somebody keep talking about me like
the end of our live session. Because this will give you guys an idea where baseline is, right? Baseline price is always going to be opening price right here. And I think if price stays bearish, because it's still bearish here on the higher time frames, I think price will come back down. So even though price is pushing up right here, I'm expecting price to probably come up and then, bounce off any of these structures and then come back down. This is where like the SR indicators and stuff will come in handy. You guys can see exactly where price is going to be bouncing from, right? There you go. So price came up, hit that resistance, and target price point, if it corrects back down, is going to be opening price, of course. Here's my markup chart. So I'll try to keep 3 different charts open for you guys, where we have these are our main short-term charts. I'll have one clean chart over here, and I'll just draw structure as we move along. Obviously I'm gonna use my indicators here to identify those, but we'll see where these things play out. So, and maybe the sessions too. I think the sessions will be
Bro, you gotta mute everybody.
So I think this will give you guys a better idea as to structure and like where price will go. So I'll just leave this up right here so that you guys can see, and then we will continue on with this. Sorry guys, let me go and mute you guys real quick. My bad, guys. Yeah, Gary said someone's mic's on. Someone's playing Blast. Sorry, my computer is muted, so my bad. I'm just seeing your guys' messages right now. Okay. My bad, guys. All right, back to the charts. So I don't know if you guys heard anything I was saying with my analysis. I guess someone's mic was on. I totally forgot to to mute everybody. All right, price is coming right back down. I marked up right here, and you see how the analysis played out. This is why it's always it's not important, but it's cool to have like a clean chart here so that you guys can kind of see where price is going, right? The structure right here, I produced by looking at the SR indicator. So that's how I was able to look at that. You guys can see here that my indicators are here. They're meant for specific uses, right? They can all be used at the same time, or they can be used differently. It's totally different here with regard to how you guys are analyzing it. So we have a clean chart here. This is just going to be our clean chart with just no indicators. And then here's my other chart with the indicators to confirm. Sean said, I want to be locked into the charts like that. Yeah, no, definitely. Frederick said he tried calling me on YouTube even. Allison said, do I see a wick rejection? We don't have anything here on the higher timeframes yet. Well, we have one right here on the 10. So on the shorter timeframes, we do have that wick rejection that you're referring to, Allison, or we did. It just didn't actually close. So like this one here didn't close. So we don't have that wick rejection on the top. We have one here on the 10, but there's no confirmation yet. There's now a wick rejection on the bottom, actually, here on the 5. But there's still no confirmation of, direction or price. So guys, going back to our strategies over here, as I mentioned, first requirement is to confirm the trend, right? Overall trend. There's no overall trend right now because the 1 minute here keeps bouncing back and forth. Same with the 5 and 10. I mean, the 5 and 10 are still bearish. However, there's no confirmation yet of them, but they are getting a wick rejection here if it does come back down. So first things first, we got to confirm the overall trend. There's no overall trend right now, so there's no room for entry. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to set up an alert for, because I don't want to leave this up on the chart because it's just too messy. I'm just going to put breakout 2.0. So we can come back and review it at some point, but I don't want to have all these markups on the chart here on the higher timeframes because it's harder for us to see what direction price is going. I mean, obviously right now in the higher timeframes, everything is still bearish. But if price comes back down from this point, then yes, what Allison mentioned earlier, we'll have that wick rejection off the pivot. I think that's going to be the main key to identify the direction. Because if we get a wick rejection across all the board, all the timeframes here, higher timeframes and lower timeframes, then we can have some sort of confirmation of direction. But right now, there's just no direction. Let me just take this off right here. And let's see where price is now going. Let me see if there's another structure up there. No new structure yet. But once we have, some sort of direction here, we can kind of see where price is going. But typically when price bounces around from these areas, target price points are always going to be the price structures like the session high or opening price. But in order to use these structures here, you have to actually know what direction price is going. So no direction right now specifically. Everything's pretty much still bearish except for the 1 minute. So the 1 minute here is trying to push to the upside, but everything else is pretty much bearish still. 10 minutes bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 1 minute is retraced up super heavy, but odds are it's going to come back down. You can see right here, target price point for this is going to be opening price again. So just think of the blue line over here as a magnet, right? Price pushes up, fakes out, comes right back down. Price pushes up, fakes out, comes right back down. And there he goes. Price comes right back down to my target price point. Yeah, you guys just got to be patient about these moves here. There's no confirmation yet. So once we have that confirmation, then great. But at the moment, we don't have that confirmation yet. We don't even have the sell signal here on the 10 yet. We've been waiting for this sell signal for a while. So basically what I'm looking for here, guys, in order for us to look for entries is I need price to actually come below the opening price. So we need a pattern like this to play out. So we need price to come down, retest, and continue. Once we have something like this, then we can take our entry for a short. or we can at least confirm that we're looking for shorts here. But at the moment, we just don't have anything like that. You know, as you guys can see, there's just nothing going on. Heading buy signal here on the 5, 10 minute, not really much going on here either. Yeah, I just saw your message, Nick. Hey Jay, how's it going? Question from Allison. Allison's asking, what do we have to consider on Wednesdays? You know, Wednesday, well, it hasn't always been this way, Allison, but like people always refer to Wednesday as Wacky Wednesday. It's kind of similar to Trap Tuesday, but Tuesday, like mostly traps get set up, and then a lot of people call Wednesdays Wacky Wednesdays because you guys can see here that there's wacky movement, right? Like there's no direction right here. And this is, I mean, it seems to be the case with Wednesdays. As you guys can see, market open right here. This is opening price. There's no direction. Price is pushing up right here, but the overall direction is still a sell. So you look over here on the 1 hour, 30 minute, and 10 minute price. I think price will still come back down. So, you know, price will keep going up and then eventually it'll fake out again and then it'll just come back down. So target price point will keep being the sessions and opening price down here. That's just a term that people coin it. I don't necessarily think that it's always like this on Wednesdays, but it just depends on the week. I think because of the news this week, there's just been a lot of unusual price movement, and also we're going to this recession. So this year's a bit different. If you guys remember, you know, pre-COVID, market was moving pretty smooth. COVID, market moved kind of crazy. After COVID, market moved kind of smooth, and now we're back into this recession. So, you know, every couple of years, we go through these market phases where we go through a normal phase, and then COVID happened, which nobody knew what to do in the market. And then we went back to normal market. And then now we're back into a weird market because we're technically going into a recession. I don't think the recession is going to be horrible like it's been in the past, but all in all, it's still a recession. So I do think overall price has to come back down, but you know, the market's not going to be that easy where you can just take sells and then automatically win every single time. So still no confirmation here, guys. I mean, everything here is still pointing towards a sell. If you guys can see here, 5 and 10 minute, it's still a sell. The only thing that's kind of screwing around is this 1 minute over here. There's like no direction at all. We're waiting for price to really push below here so that we have a confirmation that price will continue dropping, but it hasn't played out yet. But I think eventually price will come back down only because the higher timeframes are leading, right? 1 hour is leading, 30 minutes right after that, and etc. I think if we do get a retracement here on the 1 hour, I think we would need that rejection. So like price is still far from the pivots. Price hasn't came up and touched the pivots yet. It's not too far. It's only off like by 400 pips. So I think once we have price come up here and, you know, obviously reject off the pivot, then we might have that correction back down. The thing that you guys also want to pay attention to is that we have news coming up over here. I believe 7 o'clock. Let me check real quick. We have news coming up over here at 7:30 actually. Oh yeah, 7 o'clock. So I think price may just consolidate until 7 o'clock over here. And then, you know, it'll just come right back down. Well, I mean, it's already coming back down as we see it. It's doing exactly what I mentioned. Like, just look at this blue line and this purple line as a magnet, right? I think price will just keep pushing up a little bit and come back down and maybe push up a little bit and then just keep coming right back down to this area right here. So. Nice. Yeah, Daniel. So the buy breakout full TP. Yeah, if you guys took the breakout for a buy earlier, it just hit full TP. I think now it's on its way back down. So nice work, Daniel. If you took that, solid profits there for whoever locked in. Jay mentioned, I thought this was a past trading video. It's freaking live right now. Yeah, Jay, I'm live every day, bro. I'm live Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, if you're ever on here, you know, in the morning, I'm live every single morning. Been live every morning for like the past 3 to 5 years now. That's been consistent. I mean, this helps me stay consistent. You know, a lot of people don't like trading live because they don't like to make mistakes on like the live stream. But I personally like trading live because it kind of pressures me to do well at trading. So I can't really screw up on here because if I screw up, you guys screw up, right? So I'm very conservative with my trading, and you know, this just helps me trade at my best performance every morning, which is beneficial for both of us. We both win. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, if you guys ever like really want to push your trading to like, to the limits or to like the next level, I always recommend trading live because like if you guys look at my YouTube channel, I've been trading live for like 3 or 5 years now, or almost 5 years, I believe. And this has really helped a lot because it's crazy. When I look through my videos, I have like over 1,000 live videos. So I've been trading live with you guys for a long time. And it's helping me with my trade psychology. It's helped me with really understanding the market because it forces me to really understand what's going on. I can't just be like feeding you guys BS, right? Everything that I mentioned here in the live session has to make sense. Because if not, then, it's going to cause a lot of people to take bad trades. So as you guys can see right here, I keep mentioning that price is going to come back down here and retest the structure here. That's pretty much what's happening because overall, I'm still looking for a sell. We still didn't have that wick rejection on the 1 hour. So I think price may retrace up a little higher for a bit. But at the moment, I'm still expecting this to bounce around. We have news coming over here in about 9 minutes. So I think that's the main thing that we want to look out for. When news happens, I'm expecting a big price push in either direction. Let me check the calendar real quick, what news is coming up. So it's actually not even on here. Actually, no, it is business inventories and NAHB housing market index. I don't think this is going to affect the market super heavily, but it's still going to affect the market. So we'll see what happens then. I think the news at 7:30 is going to affect it a little more. It's pretty much crude oil. Yeah, and retail inventories. I think retail inventories already passed earlier, Nick. Let me see. Or retail sales. So yeah, retail sales were earlier this morning at 5:30. Pretty much oh yeah, you mean retail inventories, that's what you mean. Gotcha. Yeah, for the autos. So the it's low impact, like, so I don't really care about this low impact or high impact, guys. A lot of people ask whether it's important to like to look at this here, whether it's low impact or medium. I think it doesn't really matter because it's going to affect the market one way or another. So I treat it all the same. Here we go. Price went exactly to where we mentioned. You guys can see the pattern here just keep repeating itself, right? Price pushes up, comes back down, price pushes up, comes right back down. Here we go with price pushing below opening price. This is exactly what we were looking for. We need this confirmation so that we can start looking for possible sells. If this is the case here, you can see that price is pretty much bearish across the 10-minute, 5-minute, and 5-minute, 10-minute, and 1-minute timeframes. There we go, as price dumps below. So we already had a bias for a sell here. Price is pushing down perfectly, just like we anticipated. Oh, there we go. So look at the 1 hour, guys. Look where price touched, right? It touched the pivot, just like I mentioned. I mentioned like if this here would touch the pivot and this one right here, then it's likely to continue dropping further. So I wouldn't chase this down just yet, guys. The sell signal is perfect. That's exactly what we were waiting for. So if the sell signal here closes, great. That's what we need. It has 5 minutes left on the candle, so it's got a lot of time. I wouldn't necessarily recommend chasing it. I personally wouldn't have chased it because all the red flags, obviously, right? Now that prices dropped below and it's starting to fulfill the pattern that we were waiting for, I'm looking for the retest. So prices come back below, or it's dropped below here. Prices come below, looking for that retest, and I'll catch it as it continues back down lower. So the good thing is that price is now below opening price. So this is where we want it to be. Now we just need to keep it below. So I wouldn't chase it because price might come back up and retrace. As people call it Wednesday, wacky Wednesday. There is possibility of price, swinging right back up. Exactly, yeah. Nick said, wait for retracement and find an entry. That's what I'm looking for right now. BU's asking, is this live right now? Yeah, it's live. There's a big button on your YouTube. It says live. If you click on it, well, it should be on. It should be blinking red. If it's not blinking red, then click on it and then it'll bring you to the live time, depending on like when you enter the YouTube. All right. So here we go as price pushes back up right here. We're still waiting for the confirmation of price drop below, but we're looking for a sell here, obviously. So looking at the requirements here for the strategies, guys, first you want to confirm overall trend. Overall trend here is bearish, obviously. I'll go ahead and analyze everything again. So the overall trend here is bearish because price is below the pivots. The trend meter is red. Same with the 30-minute, price is below the pivots, trend meter is red. And same on the 10-minute here, price is below the pivots and the trend meter is red. Also, the pivots here are angling down. So we have obviously a bearish bias on the higher time frames. Looking over here on the shorter time frames, we have the same exact thing. As you guys can see, price is below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. So we're obviously looking for sells at this point. But what we're waiting for here is we're looking for a retracement. So if you guys know my strategies here, we have these three strategies. They all come in about the same order. So in order for us to have this first one here, we need to get a buy signal confirming the retracement. So first requirement, confirm overall trend. Overall trend here is for a sell. Second requirement, confirm retracement momentum signal. So we're looking for price to push to the upside with a buy signal. Once we get that, then we'll be anticipating a continuation back to the downside. So let me see to make sure that our alerts are all open. So turn this on, turn this on. All right, so I got my alerts open right here so that we can pay attention to these momentum signals that come up. So we already have first requirement for pretty much all the strategies. We confirm the overall trend. Second requirement, we're confirming a retracement momentum signal, which we don't have right now, but once we get a buy signal, that's going to be the confirmation. Yeah, no problem, View. So the 10-minute here never closed with a sell signal. We're still waiting for this here to close. Once this here closes, then we'll look for this entry following up. I know, Nick. I agree, bro. I don't know if you're looking at it too, but same with me. So I'm just trying to stay focused here on the charts. So we're still looking for an entry here, guys, but we don't have anything ready yet. We have news coming up in about 4 minutes. So that's basically what we're looking for. We got news over here in about a few minutes. Once the news happens, we'll see where price pushes. And then from there, we'll decide whether it's time for entry or not. We've got to wait for news here to pass 7 o'clock. All right, some profits over here from a Nelly. Nelly's currently at 3,376 for the day. Nice work, Nelly. Let's see, Jay's asking, hey, Sean, I have questions for you, but I'll wait until after you're trading. Yeah, if you want to send me the messages, Jay, feel free to send them through a private message. I can take a look. Let's see, Jay over here mentioned took a loss. I think the breakout was a sell, but gained it back with a speculative trades using your analysis, made extra profit. Nice work, Jay, with your recovery right here. Solid work. Yeah, well, the breakout 2.0 is, well, it was a sell. I think it's still running, actually. It's not even run. It hasn't closed yet. So the breakout 2.0 is still technically active, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it's still active and it's in profit right now. I'm assuming you probably took the original breakout, not the breakout 2.0, but it's still currently running. I'll come back and check on that a little later, but for the most part, it's currently running. The regular breakout was not a sell because there was no sell signal right here. Jay, there needs to be a sell signal in order for it to be a breakout for the 1.0. All right, guys, news is coming up in about 1 second. Here we go on the news candle. I'm gonna go ahead and mark up news right there. There goes news for 7 o'clock. So guys, just a reminder, for these entries here, red flags are going to be pretty much all of these horizontal lines. Look at this big green candle right here. This is why you don't want to trade news, because if you trade news, you might get caught in this swing up. And this is fine if it swings up. I think it'll swing up and then eventually it'll come back down. Obviously, everything here is still pointing towards a sell. I think we're even having a better opportunity here if this ends up coming back down, because we have the wick rejection on the 10. We have the wick rejection on the 5, And if we have this wick rejection here on the 1, then I'm expecting price to come back down. So, I mean, if anybody's looking for a possible speculative move, look for this here to close and a possible correction, back to the downside. I'm not looking to take anything right now, so I'm not going to take any speculative moves, but I do think price will come down slightly. Or I mean, enough to at least like push in a certain direction. But right now, I don't want to trade news at all. Obviously, when the news comes up, I hold off for a bit. If there was no news, then I would possibly take a speculative move, but this is news movement. So the last thing you want to do is get caught in this news movement. And market becomes too volatile and it just spikes up and down. So as you can see, price is moving very volatile right now because of the news. And you don't want to trade news because the news is pretty much where price gets highly manipulated. So yeah, we have a lot of news today, guys. Today's one of the days that where there's a lot of news going on. So there goes, price comes back down. It's doing kind of what we anticipated, but let's see where this ends up pushing around to. Let's see if I could maybe hop into something here if price does provide an entry, but we have another nice rejection right there. So I'm expecting price to come down at least like, X amount of pips to follow through. But again, this area here is kind of a risky area to be trading in. Let me just check everything over here again. So I think if this 5-minute here closes below the, below the pivot, it has 2 minutes left on it. That's why there's no confirmation of that wick rejection yet. Same with the 10-minute here. These here haven't really necessarily confirmed just yet, but once it does close, so this one here has 7 minutes left on it, has a lot of time until it actually closes. Same with the 5-minute here. Then I'm expecting price, possibly come back down further. But here's a correction back down. News price is right here. So my guess, or where I'm anticipating price to come down to, is obviously correction back down to the price down here, because this push up right here is based off news. So if you guys remember right now, we had news over here at 7 o'clock, price pushed up from this point, and then if it needs to correct back down to where it's supposed to be, it needs to come right back down to this this pink line right here. So just a heads up, I did take a speculative move there because I saw this reject off it again. I saw this 3 rejection point right here. So I was mentioning how there was a possible opportunity for a speculative sell there, and I actually took it. Not going to count us towards the results, but I did take it right there for a quick little push. Locking about 1,000 off that trade. Let's refresh this real quick. So a lot of these times here, I'm just going to be taking my trades, but a lot of these trades are not going to, I mean, obviously none of these trades are going to count unless they're official. So if you guys listen to my analysis, you guys will understand. Only if you guys know what you're doing, right? Take these trades here, but I'm going to try to, I'll try to walk through whatever trades I'm looking at and ideas that I have, but they're not going to be counting as official trades because there's no official trade here. Obviously there's a possible official trade right here for a momentum scalp failure, but it's right in between all these red flags. I know typically I tell you guys I don't trade around these areas, but when the opportunity arises, obviously I'll take trades at my own risk. So I'm taking a lot of these speculative moves on my own risk, but only because I have an idea where price is going. The reason why I was okay with the sell there is because these higher time frames, I pretty much marked it up for you guys here, right? So there was wick rejections across the board. I mean, we've been looking for a sell. So the thing with trading, guys, is if you guys are trading speculative moves, always have a bias, right? Our bias has been a sell since market open. So every time price pushes up, I'm always anticipating price to come right back down. Like right here again, see how price is pushing up over here? Let me see if I can get an SR zone. So every time price pushes up, my target price point is always back to opening price. But don't worry, there's no official trades just yet. Let's see, Maddie over here posted his profits. He's currently at 554 on this account, all wins. Nice work, Maddie. And then Maddie's second account over here, total profit of 957, all wins as well. So solid work right there, Maddie. All right, as price continues to move around, we're still waiting for some sort of confirmation here. I mean, as we mentioned earlier, wacky Wednesday, right? Price rejected off the structure there. Possible correction back to opening price again. But for the moment, there's just nothing for us to take right now. Hey, Kip, how's it going? Welcome to the party. Christian said, I think profits are going to be off because of the news. Yeah, no, the news here is going to push price around. We have another news event here at 7:30. We have some time in between to look for entry, but there's just nothing for us to take right now. We need price to really get away from these red flags right here, right down the middle. I'm still not looking for any buys here because everything's still pointing towards a sell. So the 5, 10, and 1 hour here still pointing towards a sell. The 5 and 10 over here, we need these here to close with the rejection off these. The 10 minutes still has 3 minutes left on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just push this over here. Clean this up a little bit. So obviously, just, going back to baseline, guys, we're looking for a sell here, right? Our bias right now is for a sell. The reason for that is because the first requirement for every strategy that we're applying here is to confirm the overall trend. The overall trend across the board is still a sell on the 5 minute, 10 minute. The only time frame that it's not really established on is the 1 minute here because price keeps going back and forth. Here's the clean chart. As you guys can see, there's no direction here. Price just keeps going back and forth. Market opened here at 6:30. And from 6:30 up until now, price just keeps going back and forth. But my analysis here where price was going to reject off it and come back below played out perfect. Here we go. Price drops below here. I mean, we're still not going to have any entries because we have news price below here. This is what we're going to need to see in order for us to have an official entry. So for the first strategy here, the momentum scalp failure, we need price to actually be pretty far down below. So let me just go ahead and just push this down a little bit. All right, let me fix this. All right, so in order for us to have an entry, like an actual official entry that we're looking for, we need price to actually be below here, retest and continue down. So price needs to be in this area right here before we can have any official entries. The reason for that is because we have all the red flags right here, right? Basically, any of these horizontal lines, there's no area there for us to be trading in. So we have to wait for price to be out in the clear. However, you guys can still take these speculative moves, as I call them. Only if you guys know what you're doing, take them. But, obviously, you guys got to take those at your own risk. I'll try to give you guys a hint whenever I'm looking for entries here. But at the moment, I just don't have anything at the moment, like right now specifically. Yeah, and this thing is coming right back down. So this is why it's always important to have a bias, guys. Whenever you guys are analyzing the charts, you guys got to have some sort of bias with regard to the trend, with regard to momentum, just in general. So this is looking good here on the higher time frames because we have the wick rejection off the top part. So this is just going to confirm the continuation back down, right? Which is what we're looking for here. Continuation. I mean, the main thing we're looking for here now is really just a confirmation on the one. So this is kind of what I want to see. I kind of want price to push up a little bit, reject off the pivot. And then when it rejects off the pivot, I think it's going to continue back down. The reason why I'm expecting that is because we have a wick rejection on the 10, wick rejection off the 5, wick rejection off the 1 hour, and wick rejection off the 30 minute. So if we get a wick rejection here on the 1, I'm expecting that to retrace up and then continue right back down. So this has about 30 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes up a little bit, touches a pivot, and then comes right back down. It's kind of what I'm looking for here. So if you guys are looking for some sort of speculative entry, that's what I'd be waiting for. But here's the thing. You guys have to wait for the candle to actually close, right? That's like a really important thing that you guys need to pay attention to. Because I feel like a lot of you guys, if you guys hear me say speculative, you guys are just entering a trade right away without actually confirming it. Glenn's asking, how do you display multiple time frames? Click on this box right here on the top right, Glenn, and then I use this one right here. You can click how many windows you want, have 3 windows, and have them side by side. You can have more if you have like a bigger monitor, but I like having enough space to see everything. But okay, so what I'm looking for here, guys, I'm looking for price to come up, test the pivot, and then come back down further. We still have a sell bias. Everything here is still pointing towards a sell. We just kind of need price to be away. There's a momentum scalp that came up right here, guys, but it's right at the news price. So this would be in violation of the red flag. But if there was no red flag there, this would technically be a sell entry for a momentum scalp. So unfortunately, you know, I'm sticking to my trading plan, guys. So I'm not going to be calling any trades that are official unless they're absolutely official, meaning, you know, all criteria is met, because price is still touching the news price right here. So obviously the red flags here mention when to avoid trades, when price is near sessions, opening price, news price, basically any of these horizontal lines. So I still think this will hit. Looks like it's going to hit full TP. So if you guys did take the trade, great, but it doesn't meet my criteria specifically because of the red flags. Again, guys, these red flags are optional. They're not necessary to follow, but I think they're a good guideline to prevent you guys from getting into risky trades. So full TP right there with the momentum scalp. I believe that was a momentum scalp, right? Yeah, because there's a sell signal right here on the 10, sell signal here on the 5. This 1 minute here had the sell signal, everything lined up. I don't know why this wasn't a gold bar, but it should have been. Anyways, this here was a momentum scalp. If you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine, because the red flag here was still in the way. So when to avoid trades when price is near news price. This pink line right here is news price. So yeah, we have that wick rejection right there, guys, that I was mentioning. And I took another win right there. So I took another speculative move, guys. This is what I was talking about, right? So I already had this circle here marked up. I said if price comes up and touches the pivot and then closes, it's going to drop at least 100 pips. So when this here closed, I took that for a speculative move, took it for a quick 100 pips, locked in 1,410. Man, this market is crazy. The volatility right now is kind of like, it's very heavy right now. So it's really easy to take these speculative moves because they just keep popping up. And Christian also mentioned that it was a high-low scalp as well. Okay, so let me just, and I got to take another screenshot of my profits. So guys, don't be alarmed if you guys haven't taken any entries yet. There's no official entries. These are just entries that if you guys listen to my analysis, I pretty much painted it out for you guys. I said if price comes up and touch the pivot and it closes, it's going to drop another 100 pips, right? And that's exactly what I took right there. So there's no specific strategy for this. You know, this stuff's all off the fly. It's really just waiting for these here to play out. So this was not a high-low scalp right here, Christian. Yeah, the candle would need to close below it in order for it to be a high-low scalp. And if you guys are curious, it's a totally different strategy. The only official strategies here on the live session are going to be these three. If you guys are part of the course and you guys have access to my indicators, I mean, you guys are welcome to apply whatever strategy you guys like, because I do have a long list of strategies here that you guys can apply. But during the live session, we're only focusing on these three right here. And don't be alarmed if you guys haven't taken anything. None of these have came up yet. Some profits over here for Maria. She's currently up 204 for the day. Nice work, Maria. We have Eunice over here, total profit of 89 for the day. Great work, Eunice. He took that trade with me as well. Here's Jay. Jay's currently up 884 for the day. Nice work, Jay. Yeah, definitely. So Jay hit his profit target. He's done for the day. Solid. Yeah, question from Christian. He's asking, would this count as a high-low scalp if it had so yes, I mean, well, for this entry right here, the 10-minute doesn't really matter, Christian. So this is kind of what I was referring. Well, if you guys have been sitting in on the mentoring sessions, guys, each strategy is standalone, right? So you don't have to look for a 10-minute sell, right? The criteria for that is just looking for price and breaking flows past the structure, which you did right there. So this was an entry for a high-low scalp that you marked up earlier today, but that criteria isn't necessary. Jennifer over here, nice work, Jennifer. She's currently up 8,830 for the day. Solid profits there. Yeah. So I know you see a lot of these entries coming up, Christian, but I just want to make sure that you're still on track, right? I don't want you to be taking trades that don't meet your criteria, because I know your trading plan is just to focus on this momentum scalp variation. I know it might get a little frustrating because you're seeing us lock in profits with other strategies, but if you're sticking to this, yeah, just stick to it. Yeah. Okay. So Christian said he's just looking at them, but looking at them will really influence you to start taking them. So just make sure if your trading plan is to stick to this strategy here, just stick to that. It's okay to look at them, but don't let it like cause you to feel greed, because I know like greed has a strong control over a lot of people, especially if you see other people in the group profiting and it's going outside of your trading plan. Remember to focus on your trading plan. Whatever you guys are focusing, whether it's one strategy, two strategies, three strategies, focus on that. And don't let other people's profits influence you to take trades that you're not familiar with. So there's still no entries here, guys. So there's a possible, I guess this was no, so it wasn't. This right here would have been a momentum scalp failure, but it was at news price. So all of these areas here, we need price to be away from these areas, these horizontal lines, right? Until price is away from these areas, we can't take any trades or any actual official entries. So just keep that in mind, guys, when looking for entries here. The red flags stand with regard to our official entries. So the only time we'll take an entry that is official is if the criteria is met here and there's no red flags. But where price is currently at, there's red flags everywhere. So we need price to be down below here before we can actually take anything official. Yeah, Sam said we have to get control of our reptilian brain. Yeah, no, exactly. Your trade psychology is really going to mess with you guys. So like, for example, here, I'm not taking any trades, but I can already assume that a lot of people in the group are getting tempted to like enter sells here because they think just because they enter a sell, it's going to come down, right? That's not always going to be the case, especially here on the higher time frames, because you're getting this whipsaw movement back and forth. Yeah, Dejan said it's in a downtrend, but whipsawing at the same time, it's crazy. Exactly. I agree with you too, Dejan. The whipsaw here, like you can see price coming back up. So look at the same pattern here. Price pushed up right here, faked out, came back down. Price came back over here, tested, and then came back down to opening price. I think if price pushes back up here, it's just going to keep doing the same thing, right? There's a new structure here. So let me go ahead and just update the structure. So there's new structure right here. Price is now pushing up from where it's currently at. There's two structures right here, actually. Just overlap with each other. So I wouldn't be surprised if price comes up here and then just comes right back down. Right, rejection off that, and then correction back down to opening price. Where's our target price point again? Opening price. So this isn't a speculative move. I don't recommend you guys enter this here. I'm just marking up and just giving you guys my thoughts. This is kind of where I see price going. The reason why I keep thinking price is going to come back down lower is because we still have a sell bias here on the higher time frames. So as long as price stays below the pivots, as long as the trend meter stays red, as long as the pivots start angling down, I'm still having a sell bias here. The thing that you might want to look out for here is this 1 hour, right? So look at this next candle here. If this candle here closes, I mean, it has 40 minutes on it, so it's got a lot of time. If it does close with a rejection off the pivot, then odds of it pushing down lower are very likely. The 30-minute candle over here has about 10 minutes left on it. So these are just little hints as to like where price is likely to go, but there's no actual confirmation that there's any direction. Here's the clean chart again. If I take everything off the chart here, you guys will see that there's no direction. The baseline price is going to be this opening price right here, but you can see price opened, pushed up, faked out, pushed down, faked out, pushed back up, and it just keeps going back and forth in a whipsaw motion. So just got to be patient, guys, and wait for these official entries. But I'm hoping we get at least one by the end of today. This whole month of February has kind of been the same. It's been kind of whipsaw. Monday was a good day because it was finally moving directional, but as you guys can see from this clean chart here, there's obviously no direction. Price just keeps going back and forth, back and forth. So let's see if there's anything else over here for me to look at. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I just don't see anything going on right now. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and let me look at everyone's profits first. So we got Aiden over here, total profit on Aiden's account, 3,408. Nice work, Aiden. She said she took the snipe on the 5 minutes. Solid work there. Yeah, the snipe's still a great strategy. If you guys like to apply that strategy, it's perfectly fine. Vincent over here, he was up 82.24 earlier. Nice work, Vincent. And then Vincent made more profits right here for buy, total profit of 136.12 for the day. So nice work right there, Vincent. All wins, solid profits across the board. Brock over here as well. He locked in 505 right here. He took that sell with me earlier today. Solid profit. And then his second account over here, total profit of 1,615. Great work, Brock. And then he took another trade here, 1,887. So solid work, guys. A lot of you guys here are just taking trades based off my analysis, which is fine if you guys know what you're doing. You know, the longer you guys have been here, the easier it is for you guys to lock in these profits. Maddie over here, he locked in his profits, posted it up already, 545. Kip currently up 3,945 for the day. Solid work right there, Kip. Kip's second account, 5,050 for the day. Nice work, Kip. And I think that's it for right now. Here are my profits. I'm going to go ahead and actually, I didn't even post up my new one. So these are all trades from this morning. I haven't traded anything else. There's actually no official trades yet. So don't worry if you guys haven't taken anything. There's just nothing for us to take. You know, you can see your price is pushing back up. I wouldn't be surprised if price just comes right back down. So look at where price is rejecting off. Lots of rejections right here. Target price point for correction is going to be back to opening price, which I think price may push up a little higher because the 1 hour here hasn't pushed up and touched the pivots yet. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. But again, guys, no official entries at the moment. Let me take a screenshot of my profits real quick while we have some downtime here. For my individual accounts. And I didn't realize it took so many trades today already. Currently at 4,000 on my 400K account on FTMO. MFF's looking good too. All right. Yeah, so all my accounts are looking pretty solid so far. And these are all like my own trades. They're just speculative moves that I took pre-market and then the trades I took here during the live session. Unfortunately, no official trades yet, guys. If you guys listen to my analysis, though, you guys will be able to like hop into a couple of trades. One thing that I recommend, guys, if you guys are new and you guys are not familiar with everything, you know, whenever you have free time, just go ahead and rewatch any of my previous live sessions. If you guys watch any of my live sessions, just go to the YouTube channel, click on live. Anything with a blue background is a live session. You guys have a library here of like about 5 years of live trading sessions. So if you guys go and watch through these, it'll help you guys really understand what's going on, because I'm looking at the same thing every single day. And the more that you guys understand my terminology and my lingo and trading, it'll be easier for you guys to just hop into these speculative moves that I'm also hopping into. But again, that's an advanced way of trading. If you guys are new to trading, don't trade this way because you guys are going to have no idea what you guys are doing. It's mainly meant for a lot of the people who've been here with me for a while. All right, so I'm posting up my profits across all my accounts. You guys will see that all my accounts are slightly different because obviously there's slippage happening right now throughout the market. A lot of volatility, but right here, it's just not a good area to trade in. Unless you know what you're doing and you're following my analysis, then you know you can, and there you go. So you guys can see where it rejected from. I marked an arrow here where the target price point was, and look where price came down to. It's clockwork, right? This blue line here is going to keep acting as a magnet. So price will keep pushing away. It'll fake out and it'll pull right back down to this area. In order for us to take official entries, I need price to actually stay below here, right? This is the problem because price keeps going back and forth. But in order for us to have, you know, an official entry right here, we need price to be out in the open, right? It's not in the open right now. It's still kind of bouncing around this area. So in order for us to have an entry here, I need price to stay below these lines. So here are my profits across my accounts, guys. This is my main FTMO account. It's a 400K funded account. I have 4,660 all wins. You can see the green strips. I'm pretty much just letting these trades run. As you guys can see, I'm not getting greedy here. I'm just letting the trades run. If I see an opportunity, I enter the trade, let that trade do what it needs to do, and I hit my TP right there. Here is my MFF count number 1, total profit 3,980. This is MFF number 1. MFF number 2, you can see the profits are different because obviously there's slippage across the accounts. I locked in 410 on this one, all wins as well. And then lastly, here is my MFF number 3, 3,990 for the day, all wins as well. So you guys can see all my accounts here are different. A lot of people are asking, when I'm going to merge my MFF, probably eventually. I just even merging it to a 400K for my FTMO was a challenge for me because I'm not typically used to trading such a big account. That's why I'm still using a small lot size. Eventually, this will move up to a 200 lot because this is a bigger account. It's twice the size of my 200K. But for the time being, I'm just going to leave it at that. And then hopefully, maybe after my first payout, I'll start using bigger lot sizes. But for right now, I'm pretty content with using 100 lots. So nice. Gary said made a few bucks today. Thanks, Sean, taking off now. Definitely, Gary. See you back here tomorrow. All right, 7:30 is coming up soon. We have news again right here at 7:30. News event at 7:30 is going to be the EIA refinery crude runs change, crude oil stock change, basically all oil news coming up at 7:30. So we got that coming up. Hopefully when news comes up here at 7:30, it'll push price, one direction or the other. But at the moment, just not there yet. So let me just go and copy these over real quick to the other groups. All right, so let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. Let's see, Dejan over here said slow trading day, second loss, 134, shouldn't have happened. I just wanted to close it because it was an accidental double entry. Winning trades came from a double body and another one off your analysis. Nice work, Dejan. So he took an accidental loss here. He just double clicked it on accident, made a double entry. So what I recommend, guys, is I had questions about this the other day from a couple people. Whenever you guys click on a sell or a buy, just click on it once. If it hasn't failed, just wait because it's probably going to fail and your computer is just lagging. So John over here, he took an accidental loss. It's okay, it happens. This should have not have happened, but good thing that you closed out for a small loss rather than risking it. But anyway, still total profit of 306. So good recovery off that loss there, and continue on with it. So nice work, John. Brock over here currently up 2,797 for the day. All wins, solid work right there, Brock. So one question from Brock that he asked me yesterday was that he has an issue with his trading, right? Because what he does is he has an issue with having a trading plan. I think it's good, well, not a trading plan, but having a trading goal. So I think it's good to have a trading goal, guys, if you guys have a problem with over trading and revenge trading. But once you guys have been able to handle that, then you guys can stick to just trading when the entries come up. Like for me personally, I don't really have a trading goal. I kind of just trade when I see entries come up. My trading goal is typically like 1 or 2 trades, but if I see more trades come up, I'm not going to be avoiding them just because I hit my trading goal for the day. Once you guys are good and you guys don't have an over trading problem, you guys can just cut off that goal and just keep trading until you're satisfied. So for me, my time is 8 o'clock. Once it hits 8 o'clock, I'm done trading, right? That's really my time goal. I don't have a profit goal, but I have a time goal. Once it hits 8 o'clock, I'm done trading for the day. Let's see. I think that's it for right now. Let's see. Question from Jay. Jay's asking, Sean, what broker are you using? Also, are only trading US30. I use FTMO and MFF mainly. Also, I have a Henko trade personal account that I don't really use anymore. 30 people group. FTMO. All right, yeah, Jay. So for the most part, Jay's asking what broker I use. Guys, I get this question all the time. Brokers don't matter, right? So you guys can use whatever broker you like. If you like, you have to still have trading skill. I just want to keep point that out because that's a common question I get from everybody. I feel like everybody's so busy looking for a perfect broker, but they haven't even gotten trading down. So realistically, guys, it doesn't matter what broker you use. If it's a good broker, bad broker, horrible broker, it wouldn't matter because unless your trading is on point, these brokers aren't that much different. So just keep that in mind, guys. The broker's not going to make you as a trader. You're going to make you as a trader. And you got to focus on that. So brokers really don't matter, guys. Unless you're using like a super scammy broker, then of course that's going to have an impact. But realistically, the broker's not going to make or break you as a trader. Unless you're using TFF. Now, that's the broker that I wouldn't recommend for scalping. That's the #1 broker I wouldn't recommend. So yeah, Jay, if you're looking to scalp and go on these live sessions, don't use TFF. Okay, that's where I take it back, where the broker doesn't matter, because that broker definitely matters. That broker's been undercutting me for like months now, so I wouldn't recommend using them specifically. View's asking what's your Telegram. I see 3 of them. There should be 3 different public Telegrams. Or I mean, there should be 4 different public Telegrams, View. For my username, it's at Kodi Trades. So yeah, if you click on, if you go to the YouTube channel, let me just go real quick. It's the YouTube channel. So this is the live stream right here. If you go to the description down below, View, I'm just at Kodi Trades. So you can go to any of these here. You'll see my posts in the group and you can just message me from there. Yeah, we have a premium. So if you want to go join the premium, that's where the Zoom is. So you're in the YouTube. That's the free YouTube, but the Zoom here is where most of the people are. So a lot of people here are in the private group. We have private groups, which you have to pay for the private groups. So again, if you go to the website, KodiKaiTrades.com, you can get access to everything there. But obviously, if you don't want to pay for anything, you can stay in the free groups. But you'll see obviously there's a big difference between the paid and the free groups. That's why a majority of people are in here. So, all right, guys, unfortunately, there's still no entries for us here. I mean, I'm still looking for price to confirm something, but we still have a sell bias, but there's no confirmation of any direction here. Wacky Wednesday's playing out as anticipated. Let me clean this up a little bit. All right, so looking at this here, guys, there's not really much direction, right? If you were to draw structure here, you guys will see that pretty much for the entire day, price has just been bouncing back and forth. So there's a high, and there's a low right there. So market open right here in the middle. You guys can see the baseline is literally right down the middle. This blue line is where market open. Price kind of came down, faked out, pushed up, faked out, pushed down, faked out. And it just keeps going back and forth. It's just going in a sideways movement for the entire day. So unfortunately, we're not able to take any actual entries because there's no confirmation of direction. The trend over here on the shorter time frames are looking like it's starting to shift back up, but I mean, there's no confirmation yet, right? Everything here is still bearish at the moment, but this can easily shift at any moment. So we had news over here come up at 7:30, price pushed up. This big push right here is based off the news. So news was right here at 7:30. This is news price, and price pretty much pushed up from that point there. I don't know how long this will hold for, or even if it will hold. This can easily just come right back down from where it's currently at. So it can be up here and it can actually come right back down. We just have no idea if that'll play out or not. Let me scroll down real quick. I think there was a question here. Yeah, Dijon said he usually stops at 11 and checks the market again around lunch. Yeah, I do that sometimes too, but usually by the time I check back, it's already too late because like lunchtime for us here is like 12 o'clock. And that's like technically end of market for you since you're on the East Coast, Dijon. So you guys on the East Coast actually have it better because your time difference kind of helps because you have like an extra 3 hours. for me, when I come back during lunch, the market's basically closed already. Question from Eunice. Eunice is asking, would you recommend to have a time goal or a profit goal? I think a time goal is better, Eunice, because all the volatility happens between 6:30 and 8. That's why I only trade between 6:30 and 8 right here. So. Yeah, Jay, check out your messages. I responded to you. So Jay said, I'm back from my phone call. I DM you, show my questions. Yeah, so check your FTMO. I responded to your questions right there. Or your Telegram, sorry, not FTMO. Let's see, Sam said, wow, crude oil news way off from forecast. Let me check real quick. What was the forecast like? All right, so crude oil inventory is right here. Oh, wow, it's super off. Yeah, you're right, Sam. So this is super off. So last year, or not last year, last month, it was 2.4 mil. They are forecasting it to be 1.5 mil, but there's like a huge inventory of crude oil. I'm not sure why is that the case, or if this is a typo, but it looks like the US didn't sell any oil this whole month. Looks like they just stocked up because it's up 16 mil. Typically, you know, it'd be down like pretty low. I'm not sure if anything's causing that, but yeah. So it's not good for the economy, but price did push up right here. So I'm expecting price to come back down. Target price point again right here, guys, you know, the rejection right here off the structure. My target price point again right here is going to be down at the opening price. So we'll see where that goes. But, you know, obviously this is why I don't trade news, because you get a lot of market manipulation based off news price. So like news happened right here. The news was bad. It was actually really bad, and it still pushed up, which is super weird. Let me check CNBC to see if there's any update regarding that, because that's a lot of crude oil. Like they just basically didn't sell any oil for the month of January. Yeah, there's no, I mean, let me check oil price. So oil is down, which is weird, but the NDC started pushing up a little bit. I mean, if you look across the board, guys, everything's still bearish. So looking over here at the Dow is currently down 138 points. S&P is down 15 points. NASDAQ's down 25 points. Russell 2K is down 4 points, and the VIX is down 2.7%. So everything here is pretty much red. But, you know, price still pushed up here. It didn't push up a lot. It pushed up, let's see, about like 500 pips. So it's not a crazy amount. I do expect a correction back down, though. I don't think this is going to hold. I mean, who knows? My opinion is just as good as yours, guys, if you guys are looking at the market right now. It's been a weird market today. A lot of back and forth movement here. I mean, obviously target price points back to opening price, but I don't know, maybe this will push up a little more before it comes back down. I think eventually it'll come back down, though. That's my guess. So we'll see where this ends up going. I mean, this 30-minute candle here has like 20 minutes left on it, so it has a lot of time before it actually closes. But just looking at how everything here is moving, I think price is going to come back down. So I anticipate this to come right back down to this blue line. Wouldn't take a speculative move, but that's kind of where I'm anticipating price to go. If price starts to drop a little heavier, then that's kind of like where I would aim my direction of trades. But at the moment right now, the shorter time frames aren't really indicating a drop just yet, or a correction. Let's see, Williams asking, hey, Sean, were those pre-market trades you took speculative without a 10-minute momentum confirmation? No. So those entries I took pre-market were applying the pivot scalp strategy. So the pivot scalp is pretty much the same as a momentum scalp. It just doesn't require the momentum. So I don't know when you joined K2 or Kodi Kai, sorry. And we changed our company name last year. So that's like the original strategy. If you look over here at the momentum scalp and the pivot scalp, it was a typo. I typed in pivot momentum scalp, but I meant to put pivot scalp for the entry. So as you can see right here, this is the momentum scalp. Let me see. Hold on 1 second, guys. Just want to see where price is currently at. We have a pending sell signal right there. I'm kind of expecting price to come back down, but maybe not yet. Okay. I was just looking to see if there was any possible entry for a speculative move back down, but I don't have that yet. Anyways, back to what I was just saying, William. The entry that I took pre-market was a pivot scalp. So it's pretty much the same thing. Overall bias was for a sell this morning. So everything pretty much lined up. It's the same thing, except without the momentum requirements. So momentum on the 10, 5, and 1 are not necessary for this specific strategy. And this is the one that I applied. So from earlier this morning, I took these entries. Where did I take them? Okay, I took this one right here. I took both of these actually. So I took one right here. That was a momentum, pivot scalp. So price came down below, retraced, came back below. That's the pivot scalp. And then I took the same thing right here. So that's the two entries that I took pre-market. This one and this one right there. One at 558. I literally took this on the fly though. So when I took this trade right here, I woke up, I looked at my chat, and I saw that Kip and CSUK were taking sells. And then I looked at the chart. I'm like, okay, there's a wick rejection across the board. This here lined up as a pivot scalp. And I was like, okay, I'm taking this here. And then right after I took this one as well. Let's see if price pushes down lower. Okay, so I'm expecting price to push down to maybe not all the way down to opening price, but I think price will push down low enough to like get close to it at the very least. And there he goes. Price pushes down right there. And I took another speculative move, guys, locking 1,700 on there. So I already anticipated this to happen. So sorry if you guys are getting FOMO here, but there's no official entries. I'm taking trades off my analysis. I just lined everything up here. I was like, okay, this wick rejection off here. And then I looked at here and I was like, okay, this looks like it's going to come back down. I already had this marked up and I mentioned, but I'm just taking quick scalps around the area here. So I locked in another profit there. I'm actually pretty good on profit so far. I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page. Yeah, my accounts are looking pretty nice with these speculative moves. Yeah, no official entries yet today, guys, but I'm pretty much stacking up on these speculative moves here. So everything is just lining up perfectly. So you guys can see, like, even though the market's not really moving, I could still predict where price is going to go, right? Because I already have this baseline here. That's why it's important to mark up opening price here, because you can have an idea as to where price is going. You don't have to catch the full move every time either. You can just hop in for a quick 100 pips. Rejection happened right here, and I was like, okay, price is going to drop a little bit. I'm now up 6,000 on my FTMO account and 5,000 across all my MFFs. So it's been a pretty solid trading day for the most part. Fern said, looks like a spec ops day for us. Yeah, I know exactly. I was mentioning that I might have a day like this at least once a month or maybe once every couple of weeks where I just take trades off my analysis. This is actually a perfect day for that because there's no official entries for us to take here. You guys can see there's just nothing for us to take here because there's so many red flags. But when price was coming down, I knew price was going to come back and retest news price. It just had to come back and test news price, right? The reason why I predicted this to happen was because price pushed up right here, but there's like no reason for it to push up. There's like literally no reason. If you look at the news here, the news was super negative, right? If it was closer, then it'd be a little iffy, but this is like, it's blatantly in the red. Like they're forecasting to be 1.5 mil. It was 16.3 mil. It's a lot of inventories that weren't sold. So that was definitely not good for the market. This push up here was just manipulation. Price manipulated to the upside. And then I knew it was going to come back down. Another thing that I looked at here was the indices, right? If you look at the entire market, everything's red. So there's no reason for price to push up. There's like literally no reason. So when I took that sell there, I was like, okay, price is going to come down at least 100 pips to like fill my TP. And that's what it did. So let me take a screenshot of my profits again, and then we will, we'll just continue on with our analysis. There's nothing for us to take at the moment. There we go. Where's my target price point? And where's price at? Analysis played out perfect. So if you guys are listening to me, you guys can really decipher exactly where to make these entries. It's not too difficult to catch and find these. Thanks, Jessica. I just saw your text message and your phone call from earlier today. So my phone was on silent, so I didn't see the messages, but thanks for everyone's messages regarding the mute earlier. I guess someone was feeling themselves listening to Blast this morning. Surprised it wasn't Maddie. All right, guys, I'm just taking a screenshot of my profits real quick, and then we will continue on. I have a lot of profits for today. I don't even know how I'm going to post this on the social media because it's going to take up my entire page. I might have to take a screenshot of my total profits because there's too much to post up. All right, so there's my FTMO MFF number 1. There's still no entries for us to take at the moment, guys, unfortunately. All right. Yeah, all my accounts are sitting pretty nice. So once you guys get to that point where you can take trades just based off my analysis, I think that's going to be like the huge game changer for a lot of people. If you guys are new, it's not really recommended at all because things can go bad really quickly. And unless you know how to get out of the position properly, you can end up with a lot of losses. But like for me, for example, I just let my trades go straight to TP. So like when I see an opportunity, I let it run. And you can see all my trades went straight to full TP right here. Total profit of 6,370 off my main account. This is my FTMO 400K account. Solid profits there. Here's my MFF number 1, locking a total profit of 5,470, all wins as well. Here's my MFF number 2, total profit of 5,470, all wins. And then my main account will be, or sorry, not my main account, my FTMO number, sorry, not FTMO, MFF number 3, total profit of 5,630. So killing it so far. I mean, if I took the proper lot sizing on my FTMO, this would have been 12K today. That's crazy. Just thinking of the possibilities, you know. I'm not going to get greedy, of course. I'm still trying to get comfortable with this bigger account, so I'm still using it. But yeah, for the most part, let me scroll down real quick, see if there's anything else that I'm looking at. C6 says consider boomerang effect, economic terminology. Yeah, I agree 100%. Sisuk. Yeah, Dejan posted the link there. He said that sounds like it's because of the weirdly warm weather. Christian said, Sean's a wizard of Dow. All right, so as price pushes back up right here, guys, we're looking for the same thing. But again, you know, there's all these red flags right here. So there's no room for entry. The reason I took that sell earlier was because price was up here. So I pretty much just rode that back down to opening price. There's just nothing for us to take here, guys. Unfortunately, I know it's kind of annoying and it's kind of frustrating that like you guys are waiting patiently for these entries here, but this market has just been like trash past couple of weeks. I mean, the market can still be trash and we can still make profit, but I know for the beginners, it's a lot it's difficult for you guys to really grasp this concept. The good thing about this though is if you guys can have the discipline to sit through this type of market, you guys have the discipline to sit through all kinds of markets, right? Because I think it's better to run through a bad market versus getting into a perfect market when starting out trading, because you'll understand when to stay out of the trade. So when the market's good, like on Monday, market was like a perfect day on Monday. If I go back to Monday over here, if you guys remember, we took a bunch of trades on Monday and then it played out perfectly. Tuesday, market was kind of all over the place. And then again, today, market is all over the place. But on Monday, you guys will see that this, like, it was like a pristine market for a buy. So yeah, this was the market over here. Monday morning, you could just take buys here and it's like easily just straight to TP every time, right? Buy signal, TP, buy signal, TP, buy signal, TP. I think the real skill with trading comes from knowing when to stay out of the market. So for example, here, if you guys are new to trading or you guys are new to the group and you guys haven't taken any official trades, this is really training your trade psychology to understand, okay, this is when you shouldn't be trading. Even though you see people making profit, you're not FOMOing into anything here. And then once you guys get more advanced at understanding my terminology, my lingo, when I'm calling speculative moves, you guys can hop into those. But for the moment, I think it's best to just practice and focus on what your trading plan is. I was hoping we get at least one entry today, but it's not looking like it. We have more news coming up at 8 o'clock, I believe. Let me check. 8:30 actually. So at 8:30, we have the 17-week bill auction. At 10 o'clock, we have the 20-year bond auction. And then later today, we have some more US news. Let me check the calendar for tomorrow. All right, tomorrow we have PPI, core PPI, Philly Manufacturing Index, unemployment claims. We have a lot of, this whole week has been heavy news. So you're seeing a lot of movement pre-market. Again, right here, high impact news all throughout the morning, which will hopefully push price one direction or the other. We don't really like this type of movement where price just keeps going back and forth. This is the resistance, this is support. This keeps going back and forth. As you can see, price is right back to opening price. And it just keeps pulling back to it. So you guys will see whenever price pushes away, it just pulls right back to opening price. Opening price acts as the magnet, but there's no direction as to like where price goes up or where price goes down. It goes down and it goes right back up. It goes up and it goes right back down. So unfortunately, no entries here. If there's any questions, guys, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. And then, I'll try to answer your question as efficiently as possible, but there's just unfortunately no entries for us to take today again. Let's see, Dijon over here posted his profits. He's currently at 961 for the day. Solid work right there, Dijon. Yeah, here are my profits. Let's post this up in the group real quick. And all these trades are pretty much taken live except for the first two. No official trades, but just trades off my analysis pretty much. Let me send Jay the link for FTMO real quick. Oh, thanks for the link right here, John. Let's see, some more profits over here from Patrick Stevens. So Patrick over here said tough morning, but still came out ahead. Nice recovery on your account, Patrick. It looks like you took a loss here last night, and then you came right back this morning. So solid profits there. Asia is gonna do that too. This is why I don't recommend people trade during Asia, because you're gonna get caught in trades like this, which it was unfortunate, but good thing that Patrick over here, bounced right back from it. He almost covered it on this trade after it, but then this morning he brought himself back into profit. He's currently up 1,326 for the day. Solid work right there, Patrick. And then Brock over here, he's currently up 3,412 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Brock. Other than that, so I don't see any room for entry here, guys. It's about to be 8 o'clock. So my cutoff time for trading is 8 o'clock over here. Unfortunately, it does not look like we're going to have anything to take right now. These market conditions are pretty horrible. They're not good at all. There's no direction here. So if you just zoom out a little bit, so market opened over here at 6:30. You guys can see for the entire morning, there's no direction. Price pushed up, came back down, pushed back up, came back down. It's pretty much just been going sideways the entire day. So in order for us to have an entry here, we need to be in a trending market. First requirement here is to confirm the overall trend. Looking on the higher time frames, we still have a bearish bias. So don't get me wrong. We have a bearish bias right here. But even though we have a bearish bias, we just don't have an alignment of, direction here. not really too much of a direction. Price just keeps going back and forth. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Otherwise, it's just not looking like we're having any entries for today. It's 7:55 right now. It's about 5 minutes till 8. Last thing I want for you guys to do is to fall into a trade and then take something that's really not there. So my advice, guys, is if you guys don't have to trade, I would just call it a day. Come back tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. Here's the good thing, guys. So whenever you have a week like this or a month like this where the market just sucks, like I think the entire month of February has kind of just been very choppy. There has been like a couple days where the market has been good, but for the most part, there hasn't been much direction. The good thing about this is that the following week or the following month typically will be a lot more volatile and better. Or not really volatile, but it'll be more directional. Let me see. I think we probably see it better here on like the 10 minutes. Let me go on the 10-minute real quick. Or not even the 10-minute. Let's go on the daily. So you guys can see over here. Well, I mean, this entire year has kind of just been back and forth. In January, you can see there's a big push down. I think the daily is kind of too far out. See if I go closer to the 4-hour. So I just want to show you guys how the market's been looking for this year so far. Okay, so this is basically market movement for this entire year, right? So you can see from the open right here, market was very directional to the upside, directional to the downside. And then you can see over here from February, price has just been going sideways for the entire month of February. So this is okay because I think there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to the recession. But now that we have a lot of presidential candidates running again, I think this is where the market will start to push, because right here, there's no direction. Price has just been going back and forth all February. January price went up. It was easy to take buys. Price came down, easy to take sells. But as we get closer to people announcing their presidential run for 2024, it's going to be interesting because Trump's going to be running again. You're going to see him saying some crazy things. It's going to cause price to move around. And as we get closer to the end of February, I think market will start to move directional again in March. So it's just this recession here. I think this year with it, the recession looms up in the air. It's kind of throwing people off. So there's no direction. People don't know whether to buy or whether to sell and be cash heavy. So there's just not too much direction right now. But I think eventually as the market continues to progress throughout the year, it's going to start to move at least somewhat more directional, hopefully. Yeah, Jonathan said once we officially hit the recession, it's going to be a sell-a-thon. Yeah, exactly. And the good thing for us is that we don't really get stuck on a direction, right? Every morning when I trade live with you guys, we look for direction of price. Today, there's just no direction, but typically we're looking for like straight buys or straight sells. I mean, today technically has been a sell day, but there's not really much of opportunity here. I think price is going to come back down to opening price again right here. I just saw the movement right now. So price is coming right back down to open right there. And we'll see where this ends up pushing. But yeah, target price point right here is going to be opening price. This thing's bounced around. But again, it's getting close to 8. So it's getting close to, it's hard for us to get off here. But there's nothing here for us to look at. So price is still in the middle of all these red flags. I think price will come back down to opening price, but at the moment, there just isn't much going on. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions here, feel free to put your questions in the chat. There's just nothing for us to take here, guys, unfortunately. I was hoping we'd catch at least one official trade, but it's not looking like that's going to happen anytime soon, especially with where price is currently at. It's just kind of bouncing around this area. But again, I think if you guys are still trading after 8 o'clock, main thing to look for is opening price. So looking at where price is from there, because there's going to be some sort of direction as we get closer to market close. Like typically market's going to move sideways, either in the beginning or middle session. And then towards the end of the session, price is going to actually start to pick up its direction. I think eventually, the market makers, institutions are going to have to choose a direction to trade in because they got to make money somehow, right? So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. It's 8 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap it up pretty soon. But if there's anything that you guys want me to cover, we can cover that real quick. Otherwise, you guys are always welcome to email me, Sean@KodiKaiTrades.com, and message me on Telegram. Probably the fastest way to get in touch with me is Telegram. But for right now, I think that is about it. So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow, same time, same place, 6:30 a.m. for the next live session. Hopefully market will move more directional so we can have some sort of official entries. Otherwise, we'll just